that was, problem is that I had to write draft letters, of course, apologetic letters to each of them saying how impressed we were with your credentials, but we couldn't agree. And of course, the letters were personalized. I should have gone to June for help, but I didn't. I addressed the letters myself, and I mislabeled them and sent two to the wrong people. That's probably the beginning of Paradise being lost. The myth that it's lost at once is not really true. It happens in stages. Okay, so what happened in '84 and '85 was a radical change in the department, which from one point of view was great. We brought in Paul and Pat and Philip, and for a while Steve Stitch, and then other appointments. And really the attitude, the orientation changed. From the point of view of this monad, this was a mixed blessing because I supported all these appointments, and I'm always been a philosophical pluralist. I never thought that you should just have a philosophy department of historians of philosophy. That's crazy. But the attitude did change, and I thought for a brief period of time, at least I felt, that history was marginalized. For example, I gave a Kant seminar once where I had to drag up 2 students for the first critique, and that was sort of the low point. Because the students were, we had good students, but the idea that knowing something about Kant was important to being a philosopher somehow, or Aristotle, or Plato, or Leibniz, didn't register. And so that was the sad point. In the 80s, the later 80s and the 90s, things changed again, from my point of view, to the better, much to the better, because then I began to get some great students. Abram mentioned Michelle, who's here, and Margaret, Camilla, and they weren't all women because there was Peter Thielke and Randy Wojtowicz and some others. So the attitude changed. But we did, and I just think in all honesty, there were deep ideological differences. And Paul mentioned this morning that yes, at the level we could all play golf together, sip Chardonnay or guzzle martinis together, but where the rubber met the road really was in department meetings, where we came down to hiring. And that's really the point of contention in any department. And we did have some unpleasant, I think Paul would agree on that, we did have some unpleasant meetings. But there were also some good things in addition to my own students. Wayne came. I guess Bob had left. That Bob leaving was, for me, was a painful moment. Wayne came, and another thing I remember, I guess it was your first year, Wayne gave a seminar on German philosophy between Kant and Fichte. Neither Kant nor Fichte, but zwischen Kant and so we were studying household names like Reinhold and Maimon and J.A. Speck and Epidamus Schulze, and I know Anne Margaret was there, and this was one of the great things in the department. I mean, not every department could have seminars on such great household names, and I very much enjoyed that. I took this golden parachute in '94 because the stars were aligned perfectly in terms of, all the categories. So I took this early retirement, but I didn't leave the department completely. Of course, I stayed in '95 and '96 part-time. Meanwhile, I was teaching at BU in half the year, and I thought I could continue this idyllic existence, but it really got to be a little hectic coming back and forth with my library was in here and I was there, and so I left in '97. Finally, though, Paradise Regained. It might be greeted with some rolling of the eyes and suppressed coughs, but by Paradise Regained, I mean the department as I see it presently constituted now, because it has achieved a kind of historical, analytic, science, moral theory, value balance that I had always longed for, and we never really had at least after our years of greatness. So I'm very pleased by what happened to the department, and I've enjoyed coming back. I especially enjoy the History of Philosophy Roundtable that I participated in a couple of times, and I hope to be able to do that again when I'm in town if I have something to say, which may not be the case. But finally, I want to, on a note, close on this note. I don't have this information firsthand, but I learned through others, and mainly Jerry, who's kept me informed about the doings of the department, that Pat Churchland, in her stint as chair, and I'm sorry she's not here, played a major role in reconstituting the department in this way. And I think that's a great thing, and I'm very, despite, we were not ideologically on the same wavelength, but I'm very pleased that this has happened.